Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how are you?
Hey there, I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to my guest today. Karen Alpert is an author. She's got a book that she put out on her own a few years ago, and it's called I Love My Little A-Holes, which I think is so funny as a parent. But she's got a new book called I Want My Epidural Back. So I'm excited to chat with her. This is a really cool little book. Been kind of flipping through it, a lot of fun stuff. So I'm really looking forward to chatting with her. I think she's got a good sense of humor. I think you and her would get along great.
Cool.
That would maybe be a bad idea. Hey, a study says procrastination among adults is getting worse. At least I think so. I never really got around to reading the study. And Stanford researchers report that people who wear pedometers walk 2,000 more steps per day than people who don't wear pedometers. Here's my question. How do they know that? The other people don't wear pedometers. They're just guessing. Yeah, you walk 2,000 steps more. How in the world would they know that?
They wouldn't.
I don't think so either. All right. We've got some interesting things going on today. We'll tell you what that is in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, April the 13th, meaning today is National Bookmobile Day. Also, today is Scrabble Day. When you were a kid, did you play Scrabble?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Nope.
Oh, I liked Scrabble. That was always fun. Always fun to come up with words and then try to convince people that they're real words. John, there's like a Q and there's an upside down L. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. I'm like, no, it does. It does. It's also Thomas Jefferson Day. It is Undiagnosed Children's Awareness Day today as well. Coming up, we're going to be speaking with somebody. Where's the book? Oh, I don't know where I have it now. Somewhere around here, there's a book about Thomas Jefferson's daughter, I think. So we've got something coming up. I don't know if that's this week, next week, but I just got the book, and I don't know where I put it. So I'll have to find that. But today would be a good day to read it on Thomas Jefferson Day. If you want to celebrate, you can celebrate by spending a nickel today. He's on that. Or spending a $2 bill. He's on that as well. So, Or spend a $2 bill and a nickel. Then you'll be really good.
There you go.
Thanks for listening on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. I would actually kind of like to read this. It's a book. It's the Holy Bible, but it's written as a graphic novel. There's an author from Japan. I think we talked about this back when he announced he was going to do it, but his name is Ajibanyo Akasinyu. I'm sure I got that exactly right. I'm a linguist on the weekends, just not on Wednesdays. Anyway, Japanese author Ajibando Anya, whatever I said before, has created a heavily abridged version of the Bible in a graphic novel style called the Magna Bible, M-A-G-N-A. I'm sorry, Manga, M-A-N-G-A, Manga
All right.
Bible. It says the work was recently published in the United States with the goal of making Jesus more accessible to a younger religion in different generations. So you think that Jesus is not within reach now? It's everywhere. It's not like this is not accessible. But I think the thing that's cool is the book is supposedly written in a way that you can relate to it a little more. So I think that's
nice. There are parts of the Bible when I'm reading that it's tough. It's tough to relate to, tough to put in today's.
I get really hung up on the begets. So-and-so begets this, and this begets that. And I'm like, what is a beget? I've never heard. I've heard of a baguette. Those are delicious. Anyway, they're trying to make this more accessible to a younger generation, along with illustrations. Yeah, the Manga Bible has illustrations and contemporary dialogue and action scenes. In one example, Noah is seen taking a census on the ark, and here's a quote from the book. It says, That's 11,344 animals. Arg, I've lost count again. I'm going to have to start from scratch.
Okay, now that's just getting silly. I would be irritated reading something like that.
Well, this was reported in the New York Times, so you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. This one could go by really quick if you don't pay close attention. I'm going to read this and see if you catch where the issue is.
All right.
Police surrounded a stolen car that finally had run out of gas after a chase. Westboro, Massachusetts is where this happened. Driver Ronald D. Raymond asked them if they could please, quote, hold on a minute, end quote, as he finished his beverage,
Whoa.
an alcoholic beverage. So he was on
that's not going to end well for
a
him.
car chase. They were trying to pull him over, and he just kept driving because he was trying to finish his drink. He ran out of gas before he ran out of drink.
Oh, man.
Pulled over, and there you go. That's what happened.
Yeah,
So
not
that's-
smart.
No, here's the thing. Don't drink and drive ever, 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 ever. It's a bad idea. It really is a terrible idea. We got a good system in our household. My wife over here likes to drink, so I will be the designated driver. I'm the designated driver. You're the designated drinker. Works out really
It
good.
works very well.
And I'm good with that. And I have more fun because then I get to tell her the next day what dumb thing she did last night. I'm like, oh, you'd never believe this. You don't ever go there again. You're not going to want to go back. All right, we've got your moment of duh on the way.
John and Heidi.
University Hospitals Coventry recently sent Ronald Cooksey a letter informing him that he is a, quote, non-emergency patient, end quote, and comforting him with the news that his chances for survival of the surgery are very good. It says there's a difference between patients like you who are on our waiting list for elective surgery and emergency patients who need to have the surgery in a hurry because their conditions have become unstable or life-threatening. The letter explained that it is undeniably true that there is a difference between Ronald Cooksey and other patients. Here's the problem. Ronald Cooksey's now dead. He died from his
While
non-emergency
waiting. Yeah. Oh, no. That's,
heart condition a year later.
That's
or
a
a year
shame.
earlier. Comes to no surprise, by the way, that after getting the letter, the family was a little more than upset. Now
Oh,
they've
yeah.
reached out to an attorney. So
Yep.
the system let him down big time while he was waiting with his, quote,
Where was this?
non-emergency. This happened at the University Hospital Coventry, wherever that is. I don't know. It sounds very British to me.
Yeah, it's
University Hospital Coventry.
definitely a universal healthcare thing.
Yeah. So anyway, his non-emergency became an emergency, but it was too
See,
late.
this is why that whole programmed insurance is a bad idea.
Yeah. Anyway, coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. A Florida man may have learned a lesson when he tried to rob a missionary couple last week in a motel in Tallahassee. The man broke into a couple's room as they were putting their luggage away, and he claimed to have a gun. It was then that the 45-year-old missionary woman pushed the bandit out of her room, telling the bandit, we are as poor as you are. The suspect then apologized and left on foot. It's like, what are you robbing us for? We're just as
We got
poor as
nothing.
you.
Go away.
Get out of here. Okay. Sorry about that. Hey, people who are thin apparently still have to worry about fat on the inside. Some doctors now think that the internal fat surrounding vital organs like the heart and the liver could be as dangerous as the more obvious external fat that bulges underneath the skin. So what do you do to get rid of that? Sit-ups on your heart?
I'm assuming exercise will trim all that down.
Don't know. But they're saying that you can be thin on the outside and still be fat on the inside. So.
Like our son is incredibly thin.
Yeah.
Incredibly thin. But the way he eats, I would assume
I don't know.
he's got high cholesterol and all of
We
the
should have
fats
checked.
inside that he shouldn't have. So
Hey, a study from the U.S. Forestry Service found less crime occurs in neighborhoods with big trees in the yard and more crimes at homes with smaller trees. Less crime occurs in neighborhoods with big trees and more crime at homes with smaller trees. Small trees may aid criminals by providing hiding places. Oh, I see. So like bushes they can hide behind. A big tree where the tree is up really high, you can't really hide behind that.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
not really.
All right, let's move on then. Thanks for.
I guess I was thinking probably
way
because the communities with the smaller trees are newer homes, and it probably gives thieves the appearance of, hey, they've got lots of money because they're in
Oh,
a brand
that
new
could be.
house. But
Well,
but you
they
just said it
said-
was because it was give them a better place to hide. I would think there'd be less places to hide
Could be.
because I've seen those small trees.
Yeah, we've had small trees. You know what? We've got some trees that are growing up. It's kind of funny. I hadn't paid attention to the one, and I was looking at it, I was like, that's a pretty good-sized tree now. I remember when I mowed around that, I used to have to watch out so I wouldn't mow over it. Hey, Americans will keep growing fatter until 42% of the nation is considered obese. And having fat friends is part of the problem. This is predicted by Harvard University.
I agree
from
with that.
The same group that reported in 2007 that if someone's friend becomes obese, that person's chances of becoming obese increase by more
Yep.
than half.
I would agree with that. You're
You know
my
what that
best
is?
friend, and
You're my
I
best
keep
friend, too.
getting bigger because you keep getting bigger.
I was like, hey, you hungry? You're like, we just
Yeah.
had breakfast. I'm like, I know,
I
it's
know,
time for
that
lunch.
was just literally yesterday. You were like, hey, let's go get some lunch. I said, you
I was so
literally
hungry.
just
I
put
had
your
a-
plate in the sink from 3 eggs and a huge helping batch of potatoes.
I had a really late breakfast, and I was hungry. I was like, it's lunchtime now. Let's go eat.
So I went home. I was like, no, I'm not going with you guys. I can't keep eating like that.
Notorious criminal Witla Soko was released from a Malawi prison after serving 6 years for burglary. Days later, he broke into the prison and stole 2 rifles, 3 pairs of handcuffs, and a police communication radio. He was captured and will likely get to go back to his familiar cell on new burglary charges. So he broke back into prison, Heidi.
Yeah, that we've heard that several times, but that doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know why people do that. 25-year-old Alvin Gist robbed the first American check cashing store in Louisville, Kentucky. Unfortunately, he didn't really rob a good store. It says he's a regular customer there. They recognized him. When police went to visit his apartment, they found the money and his clothes that he wore during the robbery. So they're going, okay, that wasn't very smart, sir.
Guilty.
Yeah. You ready for strange law?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to find my strange law. Here it is. In Maine, all Christmas decorations must be down by January 14th, or you'll receive a fine of $50. Do you think that's fair? $50 fine if you don't get your Christmas decorations down by January 14th?
I think January 14th is a bit soon. January, the end of January, I think is fair.
And I wonder if they have like really bad weather, if they give you, because that's in Maine, if they give you a little more time because of the weather. Anyway,
It drives me crazy to see houses in June, Mr.
remember
Small,
one year
with
we
our
did
Christmas
that.
lights up.
I had Christmas lights, and I finally, this is the funniest part, the wind blew them down like November 15th, so they were kind of hanging in front of my window. So when everybody else was out putting up their Christmas lights, I was taking mine down from last year.
So embarrassing.
Heidi didn't let me put any more up.
No, I was
All
like,
right.
never again.
That is your strange law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. And you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We've got a special guest joining us today. She's an author, and she's got a couple of books. Karen Alpert. Now, she loves her family, she loves chocolate, and she loves writing, and she says, in that order. So when she's not taking care of her kiddos or drinking Hershey's syrup right from the bottle, she'll probably be working on her blog, Baby Sideburns. That's where she entertains hundreds of thousands of stressed-out parents every single day. And if you're one of them, you're going to love this. We're going to be chatting with her here for a few minutes. She's a New York Times best-selling author of a book called I Heart My Little A-Holes. Yeah, that's what it's called. And she's an expert nagger, according to herself, which is cool. Relentlessly badgering her husband until he finally breaks down and does what she wants. And she's got a new book out called I Want My Epidural Back, Adventures in Mediocre Parenting. Karen, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Now, you got a really fun sense of humor. We've got the book here in front of us, I Want My Epidural Back, but the one that came out before this, I Heart My Little A-Holes. That is hilarious. The sense of humor that you have, you can definitely see that in the book as well. I've been flipping through I Want My Epidural Back. This is a funny book.
Thank you. Thanks.
And there's a lot of fun little stories in here. Where did all this stuff come from?
Sadly, reality. That's my life.
So it must be very interesting at the Alpert house.
It is. You know what? I have a feeling that most homes are like this.
And that's the thing I think that is so relatable as people are flipping through the book. First of all, congratulations on the success of your first book. And I'm excited to see how well the second one does. I bet it's going to do awesome. But as people are flipping through this, they're certainly going to be able to relate to at least one or two stories. But I think they're going to relate to a whole lot more than that, aren't they?
I hope so. There's 55 stories in it, so there's a plethora of stories to choose from.
Now, how did you get started as an author, Karen?
I've been a writer for as long as I can remember. But I was a blogger first, and I have a blog called Baby Sideburns that luckily has done very well. And people were asking if I had a book, so I started putting together my first book, and that did great. I self-published it, and then HarperCollins came along and bought it, which is awesome. And then they asked me to do the second book, and then this one happened. Not easily, but it did happen.
That is awesome. And the first one is a New York Times bestseller, which is really cool. That's great to see the success of that first book.
Thanks. Yeah, I thought it was a pipe dream, but it actually happened, which is nice.
So for somebody listening right now, whether they're doing a blog, because you said it kind of started with the blog, if there's somebody listening, whether they're doing a blog or even if they're not doing a blog and they're going, I got all these ideas in my head, what kind of encouragement do you give them as far as putting that down and doing something with it?
Don't hold back. Whatever you are feeling, write it on paper, write it on your computer. Just get it all out there and don't censor yourself. And I think for me, writing needs to evoke some kind of emotion. Usually my writing now evokes humor, laughter, which is great, but sometimes it evokes tears. And whatever it's doing, as long as it's not boring and just sitting there doing nothing, I think it's successful.
And I would say humor, definitely, and there's a little bit of sarcasm in there as well that I really appreciate.
Yeah, there's a lot of sarcasm.
Even the title, I Want My Epidural Back, Adventures in Mediocre Parenting. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, mediocre. I mean, I call it mediocre parenting, but really I could call it regular parenting, normal parenting. We're all doing the same thing. We're struggling every day, but you got to find the humor in it, because if you're not laughing, then you're going to be crying.
Are you working on a third book right now, or what's in store for Karen Alpert's future right now? Do you know?
Oh, right now I'm in the as soon as I market this book a bunch, then I will be back in the relaxation phase for a little while.
There you go.
It takes a lot out of me when I write these.
How long did it take to write this second book? Did it take a while?
Yeah, I mean, I published the first book. HarperCollins published the first book in 2014. But it was really written in 2013, and then now it's 2016. So it took a long time. I definitely need downtime between them. I write the blog. I like to put a lot of effort into the blog. So doing that and the writing the book at the same time is just a lot of work.
And blogger and author and also mother, which is a pretty important job. How many kids do you have, Karen?
I have 2 kids, 4.5 and 6.5. They're awesome, but they do keep me busy, and I would say that's my first job.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay, but
it's the most rewarding too, isn't it?
Sometimes, and sometimes it's the least rewarding.
But the thing that's neat, and I can tell by reading, and again, I haven't had the chance to read the entire book, but what I have read of it, I can tell that you as a family have a whole lot of fun. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite things, and I even shared this with my wife, was how Mom makes 6 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches compared to how Dad does it. I thought that was really funny. I can relate 100%.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite chapters. It goes on and on. I don't even know how many pages it is, but it's great. I'm looking to see in the.
Mom's instructions took like the bottom half of a page, and then Dad's instructions took like 7 pages. So.
Yeah, it's 6 or 7 pages of Dad making the PB&J, because he literally, I remember watching my husband do this. He takes the loaf of bread out, he takes out one slice of bread, puts some peanut butter on it, wipes the knife off, takes out another slice of bread, puts some jelly on it, wipes the knife off again, puts it together, takes the knife, cuts it in half, and then he wipes the knife up again and then starts to do the second sandwich. And I'm like, no. I'm like, you take out 6 slices of bread, you quickly spread the peanut butter on them, you do not worry about them going all the way to the edge, And then you take out 6 more pieces of bread and do the jelly. You slap them all together, you shove them in bags, and you're good to go.
Yours took 20 seconds. His took 20 minutes.
Yeah, I say if you want lunch, serve by 6 p.m. Ask your husband to make it.
Well, again, our guest today is Karen Alpert, author of the book, I Want My Epidural Back, Adventures in Mediocre Parenting. Also, New York Times bestselling author of I Heart My Little A-Holes. Now, when you put that title on the book, were you concerned at first going, I wonder how people are going to feel about this? Or did you go, you know what? If they've got kids, they get it.
The A-holes one, you mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think because I was self-publishing, I didn't really think it through about the fact that certain stores wouldn't carry it with the title with the word A-holes on the front. But my book and all my writing is what a mom is thinking inside her head. So it's not necessarily the words that I say to my kids. There's a lot of cursing in the book, because that's just what we're thinking, and you can't help it. Your kid's sitting on the toilet, and they sit there for so long, and you're, like, begging them to finish up.
Yeah.
Curse words are going through your head, and there's nothing you can do about it. I write it down on paper.
There you go. This second book is available right now. Where can people find a copy of the book, I Want My Epidural Back, Adventures in Mediocre Parenting?
Everywhere books and e-books are sold. You know, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Chapters, Books A Million, they all have it. It's brain candy. It's just really easy, an easy, funny read. It'll make you laugh out loud.
And I can tell you, it will. I've been flipping through this and reading it, I've been laughing. And my wife, I remember when we had our second child, I thought it was the epidural. So I said, you're going to love this. But it was a Pitocin shot. She locked herself in the bathroom. I'm serious. Like, we had to coax her out of the bathroom so we could do this, have this second baby. But she literally locked herself in the bathroom. And I thought it was the epidural shot. She goes, no, that was great. That took the pain away.
Yeah, right.
Pitocin brought the pain on. But it's been a whole lot of fun. And congratulations on the success of the first book. And I guarantee you're going to have huge success with the second one as well. And good luck to you on all that you do.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Again, Karen Alpert, and the book is called I Want My Epidural Back, Adventures in Mediocre Parenting. She's also a blogger with Baby Sideburns. That's kind of fun. And New York Times bestselling author of I Heart My Little A-Holes. So if you'd like to find that book, or if you'd like to find this new one, you can find it wherever books are sold. If you're looking for it online, really simple, really easy. Just head over to Amazon. They've got everything. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If you drill a hole straight through the center of the earth, if you start in New York City, guess where you'll come out?
China.
No, that's what we've said for years, but no, it's Perth, Australia.
Ah.
Yeah. So I don't know why we always thought we'd dig a hole to China. You'd be digging a hole to Perth, Australia. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The idiom pillar of salt is meant to have, means to have a stroke or to become paralyzed and dead. Did you know that?
No.
Nor did I. So that's what they say, if something about a pillar of salt. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
No word in the English language rhymes with orange, month, silver, or purple, although I disagree with the last one. What about nurple?
But that's not a real word.
Should be by now. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When somebody says something is ultimate in its category, product, or field, you're saying that it is the last.
Really?
The last thing to happen is the ultimate. Next to last is the penultimate.
Huh.
And the second to last is the antepenultimate. Whatever.
I thought ultimate meant the best.
Yeah, no, it just means the last. And our final fun fact for you, the ridges on the sides of a coin are called reeding. R-E-E-D-I-N-G.
I did not know that.
Some are called milling as well. Milling and reeding, that's the ridges on the side of a coin. Some fun facts on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that will help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I'm a big fan of movies. Like, every week we rent movies and we watch movies. We like movies at our household. We have a bunch of movies that we own, and we've been watching a bunch of those. But I've got a lot of things that I've learned from movies, and I've got a list here that was actually supplied to me from the internet. So I'm going to see if you believe this to be an honest list. You ready to see some things that we've learned from the movies?
Sure.
It is always possible to park directly outside any building you're going to visit. You ever notice that in any movie? Just saw that the other day on, what movie was it we were watching? Anyway, they pulled up right, and it was in like a New York City.
Right.
They pulled right up to the front door and I walked in. I was like, yeah, that was pretty fortunate. Another fun fact on here that I've learned from the movies, a detective can only solve a case if he's been suspended from duty. Once they get suspended, boom, case is solved. It doesn't matter if you're always heavily outnumbered in a fight involving martial arts. Your enemies will wait patiently to fight you one at a time. Well, the rest all just dance around in a threatening manner. That's the way it works. Another thing I learned from the movies, when a person is knocked unconscious by a blow to the head, they'll never suffer any sort of brain damage or concussion. That doesn't ever happen. They just wake up later feeling groggy.
Yeah.
Another thing you learn from the movies, nobody in a car chase or hijacking or explosion or volcanic eruption will ever go into shock. That never happens. They're just fine. Like, oh, hey, things just blew up, but I'm going to just walk away gently.
That was scary.
Police departments give their officers personality tests to make sure that they're deliberately assigned a partner who is their total opposite. Another thing you learn from the movies, any lock can be picked by a credit card or a paperclip in just seconds, unless, of course, it's the door to a burning building with a child inside. Then, of course, you can never unlock that. Another thing, television news bulletins usually contain a story that affects you personally.
Yeah, while you're sitting there watching it. Yeah.
While you're watching TV. And the last thing that you learn in the movies, an electric fence is powerful enough to kill a dinosaur, but it'll cause no lasting damage to an 8-year-old child. That's from Jurassic World, Park. I think. All right, a couple things we learned from the old movies, and I'm pretty sure those are all accurate, at least in movie world. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Could eating less extend your life? It seems to work for monkeys. A 20-year study on rhesus monkeys, not Reese's Pieces. That's something different. If you thought of that, that means you might...
And I bet they weren't eating Reese's Pieces either.
Found cutting back by calories, almost a third, slowed their aging and fended off death.
Nice.
That backs up what scientists have long known about mice and worms and flies, that their lifespans can be extended by deep long-term cuts and what should be normal consumption. The study found the monkeys didn't just live longer, they were healthier too. The calorie-cutting monkeys had less than half the incidence of cancerous tumors or heart disease as monkeys who ate normally. Brain scans showed less age-related shrinkage in the dieting monkeys as well. It also retained more muscle, and says something else that tends to go... I can't read. I can't talk today. They also retained more muscle, something else that tends to waste with age. The question for scientists now is whether that kind of calorie cutting would also work on humans. There you go. You think it would help me read better? Maybe I should cut my calories and try. Sorry about that, folks. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
You might be burning calories right now and you don't even know it. Some of the boring things we do in an office every day are actually helping us burn calories. Running an energetic meeting in front of your boss burns 177 calories per hour. Did you know that?
I did not.
So if you're having a high energy meeting where you're talking about stuff and you're using your hands while you're talking, do you think this is helping, Heidi?
Probably not, because you're sitting down.
Okay. How about cleaning your desk and the surrounding area? 177 calories per hour as well. Delivering mail through the office, 177 calories per hour. All of those are exactly the same? That just doesn't seem right to me. Xeroxing or stapling or filing papers while standing, 147.5 calories an hour. Writing a project, like a proposal by hand, 102 calories per hour. Typing it on your computer, only 96 calories per hour. Or if you sit through a staff meeting, you're burning 88.5 calories. Just sitting at a staff meeting, 88.5 calories per hour. So we're burning a lot of calories and we didn't even know it. You know what we have coming up here in a bit?
What's that?
Going to talk about how dirty you are.
Oh.
I don't know if you're going to like this.
Okay.
It's on the way, though, on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Glamour magazine had a poll of nearly 1,000 women analyzed by Dr. Billy Goldberg and Mark Lehner. They're the authors of Let's Play Doctor. They found which habits are unhealthy and which are filthy but fine. You ever wear dirty clothing? 85% of women say, yeah. They just draw the line in underwear, which 52% of poll takers said they've worn dirty underwear at least once. Next, the 5-second rule. More than 40% of women eat food that's fallen on the floor. Researchers tossed food on grimy floors and found that was germy after just a few seconds. So, on grimy floors? I wonder if that... They should have tried it on like a regular floor. Have you ever gone barefoot at the gym? 32% of women said, yeah, I've done that. Going barefoot is not a good thing to do at the gym. Even if you're worried about slipping on wet feet, even if you're not worried about that, rather, you should be wary of the stuff around you. All of the germs in those steamy, sweaty places can help you get athlete's foot pretty darn quick. Do you brush your teeth every night? 43% said they don't. They skip the brushing, and that gives you germs, extra germs, overnight. It gives your mouth time to multiply, and then you need to struggle even more to get it all cleaned up. How often do you shower? About a third of women said they don't lather up every day. It depends on how much they sweat. Unhealthy? No, actually it's not. And then the last thing on the list here, wash up after using the bathroom. 24% of women said they don't wash their hands every time. A little time at the sink will prevent those germs from finding their way into your mouth and causing you nasty gastrointestinal distress. Hand washing is the single most effective way to prevent transmission of disease of almost any kind. So there you go. When you're done, you wash your hands. I have been in public restrooms and seen people leave without washing their hands, and that is yucky, people. Wash your hands. I mean, how hard is it? It's not hard. At least try. Splash some water on.
I've seen wait staff leave.
I know.
At a restaurant.
Leave
Leave the restroom.
Wait, what?
In full uniform. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I hope that's not our server.
We got to eat somewhere else now. All right, we've got some good news to share with you. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
You know, we're right now in the middle of this week where we have tax week. This Friday is, April 15th. This year we actually get a little extension. It's Monday the 18th. But I got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about that's kind of taxing this week. And as the tax deadline nears, there are states out there that are fighting a surge in fake tax filings from identity theft. There's a lot of thieves out there that are stealing this, and then they're filing fake tax returns. Have you heard of this?
No.
Yahoo News says Kentucky and several other states are becoming more forthright, telling taxpayers they'll have to be patient to allow time for ID verification before they get their refund. It's one of several new steps against what officials say is a huge upsurge in identity thieves filing false returns and directing the ill-gotten funds to their own account. State officials are also turning to outsiders for help, quizzing taxpayers more closely about their identity and contemplating new legislation. Again, in the state of Kentucky, officials decided to go public because the problem there had grown so big. They caught $16.5 million in fraudulent claims that they caught last year alone. Double the amount they detected from the year before that. So they're expecting it to be even bigger this year. This has gotten way out of control. So there are people that are using other people's identity to file their taxes and then get their return in their own account. You'd think they'd be able to track all of this stuff, but I suppose if they set up the account in that fake identity as well, and then take the money, how are you going to catch them? So there you go. People that are smart enough to do that are also smart enough to get a real job. Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you just get a real job and not steal people's identities? Then you don't have to worry about getting caught.
I don't know. I suppose so.
All right. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Wednesday. Coming up this Friday, like I said, is the 15th. So as we're getting closer to taxes, usually it's the 15th, but this year we have the extension. It goes till Monday the 18th. So you got a little more time to get your taxes done.
I don't think we've even...
We started thinking about it. Like just during this story here, we started thinking about it.
I have a feeling we better file an extension.
I think so, too. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. If you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or 888-547-8007. During the bonus break, I got a couple things that I've been saving up here. Some of these fun facts that we just haven't been getting to, and I keep saving them over and over and over. Like this. Fun fact, Heidi. Rolls-Royce used to make rifles. Did you know that?
I did not.
During World War I, they were making rifles to help out. Also, in Charles Schultz comic strip Peanuts, Snoopy was born at a place called Daisy Hill Puppy Farm.
Oh.
So that's where Snoopy was born, if you ever wanted to know. There are 14 punctuation marks in the English grammar, Heidi. Can you name half of them at least?
Punctuation marks?
Yeah.
So period. The exclamation mark, the question mark, the comma, parentheses.
I don't know. Yep. You got 5.
Semicolon.
Yeah, that's 6. Well, 6 is pretty good.
The apostrophe.
There's 7. So you got half. I'll read through them now because I don't remember which ones you've done and which ones you haven't. So here are the 14 punctuation marks in the English grammar, and I thought 2 of these were the same, so I'm going to have to find out what the difference is. Period, comma, colon, semicolon.
Oh, colon, I forgot.
Dash, hyphen.
Oh, a dash, yeah.
So I thought a dash and a hyphen were the same thing.
Yeah.
Apostrophe, question mark, exclamation point, quotation marks, brackets, parentheses, braces, and ellipses. So there you go. Those are the 14. Hey, a woman on the web said she'd been invited to a wedding, and she got a ticket for $150 to go to her friend's wedding. The bride and groom are charging. Apparently,
Wow.
this is a trend that is becoming more and more common as people are having more and more extravagant weddings. They're saying, hey, we're having this awesome wedding, and we'd love you to come, but it's going to cost you $150
So are they doing that instead of gifts? In
I
lieu
don't
of
know.
gifts, please just help us pay for the wedding?
I don't know.
Then
But
in that situation, that might not be so bad. But if they're expecting that and a gift, that's a bit crazy.
I think it's crazy to charge somebody for a wedding, period. A guy in England was sentenced to community service after he's caught on video hanging underwear from the mirrors of vehicles in parking lots at parks and grocery stores. What?
All right.
What's wrong with people?
But is that against the law? Is there a law on
Apparently.
the books that says you
Yeah.
can't hang underwear on people's cars?
Must be in England because he was sentenced to community service. He was caught doing it. 35-year-old from Lisbon, Portugal was stopped while walking his pit bull without a leash. The policemen have been cracking down lately on what they call dangerous dogs. The man threatened the officers with his dog, but the dangerous animal ran away, leaving the man there by himself. So the man bit the officers himself.
Oh my gosh!
The man is now under house arrest. The pit bull is still at large. He never came
my
back.
Gosh!
So there you go. Dangerous owner there, not dangerous dog. And then our
Crazy
final story.
owner.
Always bring the right tool for the job. Waterloo, Iowa. Jacob Mason walked up to a drive-up window at a local Hardee's and placed his order for bacon and eggs and cheese combo. Apparently thinking cash was part of the combo, he crawled through the window and demanded money. Seeing how he was armed with only a long cardboard tube covered in black tape, employees held him until police arrived. So, yeah, he wasn't very well prepared for that robbery.
Wow.
All right. And that's going to do it for our bonus break. Brought to you by Knowles Systems. Now, if you've got funds that are earning less than 6%, you need a better system. Reach out to Knowles Systems and ask about their commercial mortgage bridge loans. They earn 6 to 8%, and it could be just what you need to get your money working for you. All of the details can be found at commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.